we shall kick things off with our very first guest. It doesn't get more fascinating than this guy. He is a man of mystery, travels the world, spreading the gospel of jiu-jitsu, and he returns with his own event, CJI2, August 30th, 31st, Las Vegas, going up against the man, the establishment, and we could certainly appreciate that. Let us say hello right here and now to the one and only Craig Jones. Yes, there he is, Craig Jones in the house. You like my crown, Craig? They got it for my birthday. Oh, you got me a present too? Wow. How are you, mate? Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Is this for me?
That is for you.
Okay, I felt weird asking.
I brought it for myself.
Did you wrap this?
I got my assistant Anthony to wrap that.
Should I open it now or should I save it?
Save it. Pretty good surprise.
You think so? It's not better on the air.
Oh, we're live now?
We're live.
Perfect.
What do you mean? What did you think this was?
I thought we were in a break.
Thank you so much. This is so nice of you. You actually remembered. Ooh, is this a B team jersey?
Ooh.
Okay.
A little lower class in the big
Wow, look at that. A USA singlet.
So someone actually...
Wow.
Technically, I stole that, but I thought it would just look great on your body.
This is a Gable Stevenson? Is this legit?
Yeah.
Did he wear this?
That's, unwashed as well. I kept it unwashed in my luggage until I got here.
Guys, this is incredible. This is an Olympic gold medalist. Which camera here? Look at that.
Can we get you to wear it?
Right here and now?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit later. You're looking very thank you for this.
No worries.
Does he know that you gave this to me, by the way? Does he know that you have it?
I think he left it in my car. That
All
sounds
right.
quite of a strange thing to say, but I just decided to hang on to it. Basically like the bounty before the match, you know?
Sure. You're going up against him.
Up against him, yeah.
Okay, we have many things. First of all, have you lost weight?
A little bit, yeah. I wanted to even up the match. You know, obviously Gable's massive.
Yeah.
We've got the jiu-jitsu advantage, so we've decided to...
How much do you weigh?
91 kilos.
I don't know what that means. Let's see.
200 pounds, maybe?
91 kg. 200, yeah. Okay, and how much is he going to weigh?
I think 265.
Okay, so you are competing against him. Last year, you were the great mug, by the way. That's a new mug.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Last year, the main attraction, CJI 1, was you versus Gabby Garcia.
A similar looking match, yes.
And this is fun. Has he ever competed in a jiu-jitsu match?
I don't believe he has. I believe he's going down the MMA route eventually.
Yes.
And
how did you get him to agree to this?
Well, obviously he's coming off a loss, so we caught him at a vulnerable moment, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it was easy. He was super keen for it.
Really? Now, is this the main event?
That is the main event.
So this is August 31st.
August 31st. That'll be on the Sunday night in Vegas.
Amazing.
3 5-minute round.
First.
August 31st. That'll be on the Sunday night in Vegas.
Amazing.
3 5-minute rounds.
Yep.
And we'll see how that goes for him. Hopefully he's not too big to leg lock. He looks enormous. I have a slight height advantage though. So
you don't think you're going to, I mean, does he know how to do anything submission-wise?
I mean, who knows?
Have you ever trained with him?
Maybe I'll take him down.
Yeah.
No, I've never trained with him before.
Wow. This is great. What a great idea.
He kind of frightens me.
He's a big boy. I saw you guys doing some photos together.
Yeah, we did some, we redid the Dirty Dancing?
Tattooed on the bottom of your feet.
I do, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's probably the most painful thing I've ever done.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously...
By the way, that singlet looks familiar.
That is the actual singlet. So he was sweating in the sun there. We kept that unwashed for you. I tried it on. It's a bit loose in some areas on me, but I feel like you could
I can
make
understand.
up the slack there.
Where is this?
This was wherever he lives. Where is it? Nebraska? I don't even know.
Minnesota,
yeah.
Yeah.
Place similar.
What a life you live. Do you have a home?
I'm homeless, yeah. Looking for a home if you have a spare room.
Do you really have, like, no place where do you get your mail?
I send it to my business partner's house, Seth.
And where's that?
That's in Austin as well. I mean, I technically have a house in Austin, but just turned it into Airbnb.
Okay.
Got out of Dodge, yeah.
How often do you, how many days out of the year so far have you been in Austin?
I would have been in Austin less than 2 weeks in the last 18 months.
Wow.
I reckon, yeah.
Do you ever get tired of traveling so much?
I'm tired, but I also get bored staying in this same destination, you know? Obviously, as its challenges, living out of a suitcase, trying to find safe training partners and stuff, obviously airports, all that experience. But yeah, I get bored, so I just want to get out, go to the next place.
So, okay, there's so much to talk to you about, Craig.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on. CJI 2 is the big one. You're coming back. The plan was always to have another one, right?
That was the plan. I mean, yeah, obviously we got the funding for the first one, and I just lied to every competitor that gave up their ADCC dreams that I was like, 100% we'll have a second one. But it went well, so we could.
Same investor?
Different investor.
Different investor.
Yeah, it's different. Mysterious every time, you know. You never know.
You won't tell us.
You never know where that dirty money comes from.
Okay.
You know, the things I have to do.
And what's the prize money?
The prize money will be $1 million for the winning team. So we'll have 8 teams in there.
Okay. What do you mean by teams?
So the idea was basically we wanted to have real jiu-jitsu teams because kind of the first CGI kind of proved the 2 best jiu-jitsu athletes in the world, in my opinion. Nicky Rod, Cade Rotolo. But then always the argument is because like IBJJF events, you win a team's trophy. Who gets the most medals? But I was like, well, if we want to find out the best team, let's take what Quintet did, which was the Japanese event that would do this like 5 versus 5 winners, like sort of you submit the guy, you stay in. And I was like, let's really take your 5 best 80cc weight division guys against our 5 best and really see who wins. So that's the idea. It's like now we're going to determine which team is actually the best.
Okay. And this is completely different than last year.
Yeah, well...
You didn't have teams last year.
No teams last year. We just had 2 16-man divisions with $1 million prize for each. Obviously, we've cut the prize money a little bit. That was a bit generous last year.
Yeah.
But this time we're just mixing up. I feel like we set the precedent for how the sport should look in the first event, but I didn't just want to rest on that and redo the same thing. I want to keep it moving, keep it exciting. So I was like, in my personal experience, the most fun I've ever had competing was with Quintet. So I wanted to like showcase Quintet style, a few modifications of the rules, use the pit, and just basically show the most entertaining form of the sport.
And what's the show money? Is it still the $10,001?
$10,002 this year.
You're upping it.
Yeah,
this is big.
Adjusting for inflation for sure.
Okay.
Guys.
In total, how many people have agreed?
We've got 8 teams of 5. 2 of the teams, New Wave Danaher's team, we're just waiting on one more guy to fill their slot. And same with Andre Galvao at Atos. Every other team's.
So who are the captains of the 8 teams, so to speak?
Oh, I mean, it's...
well, like Danaher considered a captain, or is he more like a coach?
Yeah, he'd be the coach of the team.
Okay.
So we got Danaher for New Wave, Nicky Ryan for B team. We got Heath Pedigo for Daisy Fresh, Eddie Bravo for 10th Planet, Andre Galvao for Atos. And then we wanted to have all real teams because obviously you could put together a super team.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these events out there that do team style will just, like it'll be a rich guy and he'll just be like, I'm going to pick the 5 or 8 best guys and just stack my team, like by the victory. So we wanted to keep it kind of to really determine who was the best team, but certain individuals would miss out. So then we filled the other 3 spots. We made them like region-based.
Okay.
So Australia and Asia is Lachlan Giles. Europe and the UK is Faris. And Americas is Greg Souders.
Okay.
So we have like 3 regional teams and 5 real teams.
I was hoping that one of the remaining teams would be Gordon Ryan.
Oh, I mean, Gordon is New Wave. They've just rebranded actually to King's Way.
Okay. So is he going to be a part of the Danaher team?
He will not compete. I don't believe he will ever compete again.
You think he's going to retire?
I think this time it's real. This time it's a real retirement.
Because of his health?
I think he's going into politics, actually, I've heard.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to run for Congress. Would you vote for him? Would he secure your vote?
I don't know. I don't know what his...
Look at the hesitation.
I don't know what he believes in. I don't know what he's all about.
Follow his Instagram.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that true? Is he really going into politics?
That's true, yeah.
Wow. Are you surprised by this?
Me and many of his constituents probably would be surprised by that too. But I mean, he achieved great things in jiu-jitsu, so like, we'll see what he can do, hey.
How's the relationship with ADCC?
Man, dude,
For real?
We're back, yeah.
You're back?
Me and Mo Jassim, best buds again. We put our differences aside for the...
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we just are friends again, you know?
So are you not going head-to-head with them?
No, we won't go head-to-head with them again. You know, like, I just wanted to, like...
Because they don't go every year, right?
Every second year, but yeah.
Okay, so you're free and clear this year.
Free and clear this year. Next year, we definitely won't go at the same time as them.
Wow. What happened? How did you mend the fences?
I mean, time heals most wounds.
Yeah.
You know, but also, I mean, it was like, I was just trying to prove a point with that first event that there was like, in a way, a better way to do it. But obviously, Mo was kind of restrained by like what 80cc, you know, like you have that formula for 30 years or whatever. Like obviously we had a lot of differences about how we do it, but really at the end of the day, like I felt like we won a little too much, and I don't want 80cc to disappear. That's like the legacy event of our sport. It can we can coexist together. Athletes can participate in both. I wouldn't want to rob the athletes the ability to be able to do both of those events.
So next year you can compete in ADCC and your event if you do a third one. You are planning on doing a third one, right?
If we're still around here, if we haven't.
So there's no more like war between you guys or.
No,
wow. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah. I spoke to him actually. We text back and forth now. It's crazy. It's like,
wow,
like nothing
what a difference a year makes.
What a difference a year makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're cool.
So now you've just redirected your feud with the UFC. You've chosen an even bigger entity to go up
We've got a
against.
bigger fish to fry now, unfortunately. As you know, they're a powerful enemy to have,
yes.
Ariel. Yeah, I mean...
What are you implying by that, by the way? What are you trying to say?
Well, you're not best friends with...
Nah, listen. It's all work. Do you know what pro wrestling? It's all for the cameras.
Me too. That's what I try to tell him.
But I don't blow up, blow up dolls with Dana White's face on it with a bazooka.
Hey, that could have been any white bald man.
Right.
That's quite.
This is next level right here when you're doing this.
I mean, yeah.
This is a declaration of war.
Yeah, those dolls are actually used as well.
Okay. All right. Where is this, by the way?
This was on the front lines in Ukraine.
Jesus. We'll get to that in a moment. But you legit, what is that like?
Be honest. What do you think of the UFC BJJ belt?
Well, can I just ask, what kind of a weapon is that? What is that called? Flamethrower?
A rocket launcher, I think.
A rocket launcher.
Yeah, so...
And you nailed it, right?
Yeah, actually, when we blew up a car with ADCC painted on it last year, but I actually missed 6 times. So we just had to pretend I hit the car.
Cut away.
Yeah, it was actually like super hard. So this time we got really close to the target, pretty dangerously close, but we had one rocket, we hit it in one shot.
So, okay, so I know you asked me the question, but can I talk about the genesis of this? You feel like they have taken your ideas, right? And you were quite upset about this.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we have the pro wrestling drama of it, but yeah, I do think like, the Octagon's trademarked. You know what I mean? Like no one can go around using the Octagon. I feel like I made a blend. I stole from a bunch of different people to put something together, and they basically slightly adjusted the finishing product.
Which is the Pit.
Yeah.
And the Pit, credit to Karate Combat, they have a similar...
Yeah.
Would you say that you got some inspiration from them? But you're cool with those guys, right?
Yeah. We shouted them out for the inspiration.
You've competed for them.
Competed for them. We have a licensing agreement with them. So I do like to take other people's ideas, but I do like to give people credit.
Okay, and you feel like they haven't given you credit?
None at all.
If they would have given you credit, would you have been okay with this? Or because they're so big, do you feel like it would have been better if they used their own type of surface?
I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Because I think we decisively proved that format that we sort of created is the best format for grappling. So in my opinion, I do enjoy that they're using it because what they were doing for many years was not that good a product.
Right.
Fight Pass Invitational never popped off like the way, I guess, UFC BJJ appears to be popping off, right? So
do you think it's popping off? Do you think the first event was a success?
I think it was, I watched it, was exciting. But the most exciting part for me was when they accidentally called it the Pit. And then they were like, oh, we can't say that around here. Don't say the P word.
Okay.
Well, obviously, to watch grappling take place in what we basically put together makes it a more exciting sport. So overall, I appreciate that they're doing it. And I understand from a business sense that, if you view yourself as up here in an industry, you're not really acknowledging people down here. But at the same time, it would be nice if someone was like, yeah, we saw what Craig did. We're going to throw some money at it and do it in our own way, But
you've had conversations with them, Hunter Campbell in particular, right?
Yep.
That was about you being a part of the reality show?
That was for the reality show, yeah. But that was it was actually funny because when I spoke to those guys, they didn't like the Gabby Garcia match. They thought the Gable Stevenson match was stupid.
Really?
Then they're like, hey, Craig, you want to face Mikey Musumeci? And I'm like, is that not a freak show match as well? I'm like, I don't see the disconnect.
You're much bigger than him.
Much bigger, yeah. Obviously, Mikey's a very small but talented grappler. But yeah, it was just, it came from a weird energy. You know what I mean? It was just like.
So they wanted you to coach and then compete on this card?
Yeah, as far as I know, they wanted Gordon and Mikey to coach and compete against each other. And Gordon said no to the competition aspect. I don't know if he said no to the coaching role. I don't know if they got that far. He just wasn't willing to compete against Mikey. So Mikey sort of backdoored me through a mutual friend because he was scared if he messaged me direct, I would go after him or something. But yeah, I spoke to Mikey and then I spoke to the UFC. They made an offer. I thought it was not a fair offer for the time commitment and what I would have to give away in terms of the exclusivity type of deal there. So I really did turn it down, and I went with Flow Grappling instead, because Flow Grappling basically offered me whatever, like it's like, hey, this is an exclusive deal. If you want to compete over there, just make sure like we can figure it out within our calendar schedule if I were to compete in the future.
If you would have signed up with the UFC idea, would you have had to shut down CJI?
No, I think they wanted to broadcast it. Like, they had made us offers to broadcast in the past, but for me personally, those offers were quite embarrassingly low considering the amount of money, someone else's money, that we put into it, and obviously time and effort, and also like just really wanting it to be free on YouTube. Like, I think in the infancy stage, and I still consider jiu-jitsu competition in its infancy stage, I think we just need to get it out there in an exciting way to as many eyes as possible before we hide it behind a paywall.
So what was the exclusivity part of it? They didn't want you to compete for others.
Yeah, and obviously from a business perspective, it makes sense, right? They're investing all this money into us. They're marketing us. They don't want us to go elsewhere. But at the same time, it's like, if you're an individual athlete, you want to face the best guys in the world. And this is the problem Mikey Musumeci has right now. Everyone keeps saying, oh, you're facing easy opponents. Like, they're like, you're not facing the best guys in the world. And that's because these guys are under other organizations that the UFC will not, I believe, be willing to work with.
So if you're signed, for example, a Mikey Musumeci, who's very much one of the faces of this UFC BJJ promotion, if you will, can he not compete for CJI?
I don't believe he can, no.
That's their decision? You'd be okay with it?
Yeah, I'd be cool with it. Obviously, like, I think we just work together. Like, we're trying to grow this sport,
Sure.
But again, I am sympathetic to their logic. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to protect this, what, like, they're investing into. But at the same time, for an event like mine, once a year, we're trying to get every good competitor around the world basically to participate in this event. And like, with the money we made from the first one, we just gave away to charity. We're like building jiu-jitsu schools around the world. So it's like, I don't see our event as competition to them. But obviously they're going to be protective of their athletes. Like, if their athletes were to come to CGI and lose, it's damaged their brand. They've gained nothing from it.
Are UFC fighters also not allowed? Because, they'll allow them to do Fury grappling and all this other stuff.
Good question. Basically, after I had declined their offer, communications over.
Okay. Was it contentious when you declined?
Oh, I think any offer you decline comes is a little bit of contention.
It could just be like, hey, I get it, I respect it. Good luck.
Like,
maybe we'll revisit. No, the reaction from them to you turning down the offer.
Not much of a reaction. Obviously, I have my manager, Dan Maudsley, take care of that. But really, like, it's like middlemaning, a couple of direct conversations. But when it came to the later stages, really, it was just like, like, they basically had a take it or leave it, non-negotiable aspect to it. So in that sort of restrictive nature, at my point in my career, I'm going to be like, no,
Sure.
I'm not going to sign such a strong deal. You know what I mean? Like, I understand like, Andrew Taggart competed for us, put on the most exciting match, I think, in the history of jiu-jitsu. He chose to sign with them and go with that sort of UFC money, or really, what they're really offering you is the prestige, the attachment to the brand, like showing your face at a UFC event, participating in UFC fan expos and shit like that, which is, if you're a kid, you grow up watching UFC, it's going to be really appealing to you. They're targeting something that's been a dream of you as a kid, so they have that strong point of leverage in the negotiations. We're going to elevate your brand by attaching it to our brand.
What's interesting is when they got into this and when Mikey signed and all this stuff, it was like, oh, wow, UFC's like going all in on BJJ. But correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like part of the culture and the spirit of your community is like, hey, you could pop up at this event, like, you're just sort of free to compete. May the best man win. And now they're trying to change that culture. They're trying to make it more like MMA, where it's like, hey, you're either with us or against us.
Exactly. And that is like, I will say without a shadow of a doubt, that is basically the negotiation point for them. Are you an enemy? Are you a friend? Like, there's really no gray area in between.
And how is that being received by the community and by the competitors, by the fan base?
Overall, I'm not sure. Like, I think a lot of people, it's hard for people to really, like, understand the big picture of this, right? Like, I wouldn't want to call any organization a monopoly, but like, there are a lot of problems associated when there's just one dominant, say in MMA like the UFC, one event. There's really, like, there's no alternative. You know what I mean? If you want to become famous in the sport of MMA, there's no alternative. And when there aren't alternatives, you don't have leverage to negotiate. So if it comes down to compensation, if anyone, it doesn't even have to be the UFC, if anyone came in and offered enough money early to secure the best athletes and the other organizations died, how are you going to leverage a pay rise? So like at the end of the day, what I'm trying to make sure is there is an alternative that's a big event, that's a big platform, that you can at least use it to leverage a better deal if you choose to go under these exclusive contracts.
Would you ever want to make CJI a multiple times a year thing? Or do you like it as a one-time?
I mean, like, I think given where the sport's going with the restrictive contracts, like ultimately to have a viable alternative, you would need to offer something that would provide these athletes with as many financial opportunities throughout the year. Do I personally want to do it? No, because it's so much work.
So much work.
You know, it's like herding cats dealing with these athletes. Like the individual event where it was like we just had to find 16 people in each weight division. Hey, do you want a chance at $1 million? Bang, I'm in. But to organize the teams, I thought the teams would be easier. We pick a coach, the coach picks these guys. But like a lot of the individual athletes are like, am I going to be on a winning team? Like, I want to, you know, it actually turned out to be much more difficult to build these teams.
Did you do that because you wanted to be different than UFC BJJ?
I didn't know what they were going to do. I had no idea.
So why didn't you just stick with the format of last year?
Just to show, like, because I knew it would be copied.
Okay.
I knew it would be copied. Obviously, I'm going to be offended if someone copies it and doesn't give credit. You know, obviously, it's like, it's very, very similar. You know what I mean? But like, I wanted to, for me, it was a background with the sport. And I'd always planned, knowing full well that it was going to be mimicked in some capacity by other people in the industry. To the extent that it has been, that was surprising. I think that's a testament to the success of the first event. But I always wanted to do something different for the second event. For the third event, we probably likely go back to the $1 million 16-man style event. But I wanted to showcase how exciting grappling could be. So we hooked the best athletes with $1 million for the first one. Now I really want to double down and show the fans that this is the most exciting format from a spectator's perspective. Quintet, for someone that doesn't train, will have the most appeal. It's the chaos. It could be a small guy against a big guy, and that's the goal for this event.
Thomas and Mac again?
Thomas and Mac again, yeah.
Are you still donating all the profits?
I don't know. For this one, we'll keep some of the accounts, I hope, for CGI 3, but like we actually work with Guardian program, which builds schools for like disadvantaged communities. So a lot of the money from the first event, well, not a lot, but like part of the money from the first event and banking on the profits of the second event, we're building a school in Peru. And the goal is the more successful these events are, the more schools we can build around the world. So not just growing the sport amongst sort of like the communities that can watch it on YouTube, but also growing it because of the benefits of jiu-jitsu just for people all around the world. So trying to build schools in locations where tourists don't even go. These parts are like the school in Peru, like there's really not a lot of tourists there. There's some surfers that go there, but like there is a poor community there, and jiu-jitsu can fill a healthy void for that community. Are
you at war with the UFC? Would you categorize it as such?
I mean, I don't know. Is a bazooka an act of war? I'm not sure.
I mean, the reason I ask is you're quite, you're prevalent at some of these events. You have guys that you train. You're in their corner. Do you think that you will be okay to continue to corner these fighters?
I had thought about that, and I was really, I mean, here's the thing. If you don't answer the phone calls coming your way, how do they notify you banned?
That's good.
Put the phone on Do Not Disturb.
You just show up.
They got to tell me somehow. Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked, to be honest, if they were to ban me.
If they were.
Cornering.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, I mean, the big picture is like UFC hates me.
You think so?
But they also hate Dagestani wrestlers. And Jack Della is fighting Islam Makhachev. So it's a catch-22. They're like, fuck, we hate this guy, but we hate these wrestlers as well. So I think they want me. I helped them get rid of Bilal. Like, hold on a bit longer, guys. We'll get rid of Islam Makhachev for you.
It is a crazy thought, although there was a time way back when Ryan Couture wasn't allowed to have his father, Randy Couture, in his corner.
That's wild, yeah.
Now, this was a bit of a different time. I think they were a little more contentious back then. But if I'm being honest, nothing would surprise me. How did you and Jack team up? How did this happen? Because was this the first time you cornered him?
First time cornered him. I've trained with him a little bit, back and forth. I'm trying to even. I go to so many places. My memory is terrible.
Yeah.
I brought him in. Well, I encouraged the team to bring him in, and it was obviously also beneficial for Jack at the time as well. Jack was getting ready to face Gilbert Burns, and Volks was getting ready to face Ilya Topuria. And I remember thinking, like, this would be a good blend. Like, obviously, Volks got great fence wrestling. Jack's got great boxing, sort of complementary skills for the upcoming fight. So, like, I would say that was one of the first times I spent, like, a bit of a stint with Jack. He joined Volks' camp for a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, on and off for a bit. But, yeah, this was the first time cornering him for Belal. And we really...
What a performance.
Yeah, amazing.
How much of that credit goes to you?
All of it. I think that's fair to say. Like,
I mean, the takedown defense was unbelievable. That's all you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this guy's not going to be able to take me down either.
Sure.
Hopefully my skills translate personally as well. But, yeah, I mean, like, for me personally, when I coach an MMA fighter, like, we have a short window of time to work with him, right? So, like, Jack Della, I've been a fan of his since his, was it the Dana White Contender Series debut? And I remember seeing him hit some specific grappling moves that blew me away. So I would say that, like, as just a fan of grappling, I appreciate what he does. So when he asked me to help him, I already knew what his game sort of looked like. So it's really just adding little things in there, like, and also, most importantly, giving him confidence, right? Like, I think that's what's most important. Like, I always make jokes, I'm just holding the bucket in the corner. Obviously, most of those fights, I'm just holding the bucket, being like, good work. There's so much time's remaining. But really, like, fighting, I think, is so important, the confidence aspect of it. So, like, if you have someone that is, who you perceive to be a good grappler, encouraging you, telling you you're making the right decisions, what it's going to free you up to do on the feet is throw a bit more caution to the wind. You know, if you faced a guy like Khabib and you're like, oh, if I get taken down once, the fight's over, you're not going to be able to open up,
right?
Or you potentially might have a advantage. So it's really like, it's about giving proper techniques, little touch-ups, because, like, obviously, like, Volks and Jack are already so refined in what they do. You know, we're jumping in rather than coattails at the end, but it's really like just instilling that confidence so they're making the right decisions, that if they get taken down, they will get back up.
What do you think of my hometown, Montreal? I feel
beautiful.
Like you would like it.
I did like it, yeah. We enjoyed that quite a bit, actually. The after party was at Jack's house, and we kept at the Airbnb, and we kept going until they threw us out of there. So
the after party was at Jack's. You know, Montreal is like one of the great party cities of North America. They used to call it the Vegas of the East. Legendary clubs over there. I don't know if you know about this.
You're enticing me to go back. No, I mean, Jack's.
I actually felt like I was expecting like more content from you in Montreal, because there's a lot of things that I think you could have enjoyed doing over there.
I was recovering from the foot tattoo. Actually, that took like a month to recover.
The FU one.
Yeah, that took a long time. That was a terrible idea, because I was training with Jack in Perth and we had the flight away, and I was like, my feet will heal. This will be a funny joke. Get the tattoo. It took like, I think I got infected. It took 3-4 weeks. So I was like hobbling around Montreal. But yeah, obviously Jack's like a family man. That's such a special moment for him and his team, that it's kind of like, keep it close there in the apartment afterwards. But
how do you think the fight against Islam goes?
I think it's a super difficult fight for Islam, this one. He's like, obviously he's faced Volk twice. We'll forget about the second one, but the first one, very competitive with the grappling. And now we're talking about he's facing a guy that's some of the best scrambling ability, I think, period, in all of MMA, and some of the most unorthodox grappling. And I think that's what Belal struggled with. Belal really just sticks to a blueprint. The blueprint obviously works very well, but in terms of creativity in what Belal does, I think it's pretty strict. Jack, as you saw in that fight, some of his off balances and grip breaks and some of the things he does, it's really hard to prepare for that. So I think, like, Islam, the size difference is going to be quite a lot bigger than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground and how much Islam struggled with him in the grappling exchanges. And having seen Jack and Volks work together, seeing the skill sets, like, this is a perfect one. The UFC want guys that stand and bang. I'm trying to still help them out, even though potentially enemies.
So you feel confident about this one?
Yeah, very, very confident for this one.
You think Islam stays at 170 after this, or do you think he goes back down?
I mean, yeah, good question. I don't know what he's weighing. Like, I think he was posting that he was pretty light, so I'm not sure how he's going to deal with that size difference. I think, obviously, worst case scenario, goes out ragdolls, potentially submits Jack. I think he's probably going to stay.
You think Ilya beats him?
Who knows with that guy? That guy surprises me every time, eh?
He's incredible, right?
Yeah, I was too hard on him at the beginning. I think I watched some of his fights and just didn't think he was that good. And then like I was like, oh, all right. God damn, it's one of the best ever, I think.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I would love to see him versus Volk again at some point, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen because I don't think he's fighting at 145 and I don't think Volk's going up to 155. And I would love to see him versus Islam, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah, I think Jack, here's the thing, like if Jack, as I think he will, beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position, does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses? I know Ilya make jokes. He's like, oh, if you lose to Jack, you have to re-earn the shot of the title. But yeah, I think I really like Ilya's waiting for that fight, and it all is determined by how good a performance Jack does.
So these days, in terms of people who call you up and say like, hey, Craig, I want you to corner me, is it Alex, Jack?
Alex and Jack, that's it. I trained a little bit with Tom Aspinall and we're joking around.
I saw that, yes. And Paul Hughes.
Yes.
Yeah, how did that come about?
Actually, Oscar Willis, Mac Life, is friends with Tom Aspinall, so he set it up while I was over in the UK. But yeah, Tom, awesome dude.
I saw you guys recreate the John Jones bike scene.
We recreated the John Jones bike scene. I feel like we could do a whole series recreating John Jones scenes, but we need a few police
Sure. There it is, right here. It was nice.
Obviously, I had to twist Tom's arm into doing that. He does not like talking, continually talking about John Jones.
Sure.
Like, so it's like funny.
This is great, right here when he looks.
He actually didn't know we were still filming then. That was his honest reaction. He was like, "What am I doing?"
What about his grappling though? For a big man?
Yeah, he's good. He's been training jiu-jitsu since he was a kid. His dad is like, I roll with his dad. I was looking at his dad like this older, small guy, and I was just like, I'll roll very gentle with him. But his dad brought the heat, so it's a good grappling base there. I think, though, kind of like Jack Della, is like if your striking hits a certain level and people don't see the grappling, they just assume your grappling's bad. So I think we've seen Tom Aspinall. He submitted Volkov, right?
Yeah.
So he really impressive. Really impressive.
I always say he reminds me of Cain Velasquez and Frank Mir. If they had a baby, it's Tom Aspinall.
That's true. Yeah.
Even the body type, but just like the way, like Frank Mir with the grappling, Cain with the wrestling, the striking. Of course, both guys. Arguably, he's better.
Who would have won
in a fight between them?
Yeah, Tom and John Jones on the
in that fight.
On the White House lawn.
Tom,
yeah, I think
John's not a dummy. He knows there's a lot of currency in retiring undefeated, right? So what's the point? Even though I would say you had one fight left, and if you would have just retired in November after the Stipe fight, none of this would have been a real thing. People would have said, oh, you ducked, but that kind of would have gone away. The fact that you dragged this out for so long, and really, if we're calling it like we see it, if we want to speak of the truth, he asked for a big number, and I think he was banking on the UFC not saying yes to that number. So they say like, hey guys, I tried. The UFC actually met the number, and then he was kind of...
I wish I could say the same about the UFC, but unfortunately, here we are.
Did you ask for a big number?
Yeah. It's the last stages of a career. I'm talking about control of my options. You know what I mean? You want to be compensated for that, right?
Sure. Like, how long was the contract for that they were asking? Because
that part was really, they had a little bit of room there, but really it was kind of a commitment. Like, I'll be 34 in
July 17th.
July 17th, yes.
We have multiple July babies on the team. That's why
really?
I noticed. Yes. Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's like, obviously, I don't want to do this forever. I don't know how dudes are competing at 40, 41 and stuff like that. So, like, I see the end pretty near competition-wise. So it's like, to sign away the end, I'd want to be well compensated just in case. Like, we see the sports payment structure just growing. So it's like, you lock yourself down for a certain time period, you might miss out on a massive payday down the line.
Anyone trying to get you to fight before it's all said and done?
Yeah, I'll likely...
MMA, that is.
Me fight MMA?
Yeah.
I still think Gabby Garcia rematch with the gloves on would be a great option.
Where? Japan?
I think Japan's the only country that would allow it to happen, maybe.
You'd be open to this?
Who knows? That could happen on the White House lawn, you know?
How are you and Gabby these days?
Good. Yeah, she just calls me up to see what I'm doing with my life and laugh at me, but that's the foundations of a strong relationship, I think.
We saw a video. So you were in Ukraine recently, right?
Yep.
There's a video of you like in the fields, and as you're watching the video, we could play it now with the sound up.
Oh, yeah.
This video right here, it's like I could hear the bullets whizzing by.
Yeah, bullet hit next to my leg. You see it like the ricochet hit off the glass. Yeah.
Is this legit?
That is, unfortunately, that is legit there.
Where is this?
This was near Kramatorsk. So I've been
What are you doing in the field there?
I mean, the camouflage was not a good choice there, you know. But
Why are you doing this?
why? Oh, I'm just supporting my buddies over there.
I know, but like, you could get killed. You're at peace with that.
I mean, like the other end, like I went to Ukraine to do a seminar. Like I've been there 3 times now, and it's kind of like if I'm going to go to Kyiv, and a lot of the soldiers train jiu-jitsu, they're stuck on the front lines. If I'm going to go to Kyiv and teach the people that live in Kyiv, but the soldiers are like, well, what about us? Like you're in a pretty tough position to be like, oh, you're on your own out there. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of the foundation for going to the front line. And now I've been to Kherson, Kharkiv. I've been to some of the most dangerous cities. I mean, it's also good. Like,
where do you fly into? Poland?
Poland, and then you just have like this brutally long drive.
How long?
I mean, it depends on how angry Polish immigration are that day, but like, there's not a lot of smiles coming from Polish people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what is it, like 10 hours?
I've been stuck at the border 5-6 hours one time.
Damn.
But like, 15-hour journey minimum. I remember.
What is life like? Like you're like walking around Kyiv. Like, is there a hotel? Where do you sleep?
There's hotels. Yeah, last time actually, this recent time I rented a penthouse because I was like wanted to see, because Kyiv's such a beautiful city. I think that's what shocked me is like people think it's like this thing separate to Europe, but then you see it and you're like, this is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. So this time I was like, I'll book a penthouse so I could have a view of the city. And I remember like the building I stayed in had been bombed like 3 months before, and the guys were like, penthouse a bad choice, my man, with the airstrikes going on. So like, luckily I was fine. Then this time I went to Kharkiv to see my buddy Roman. Roman's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He lived in Ukraine. He went back to, he lived in France for 8 years, and then he went back to Ukraine to enlist because his family was still there. And now 3.5 years later, he's still there.
Damn.
He used to fight MMA, used to travel around, living the good life doing jiu-jitsu, but made that sacrifice to go back. So I actually did a European seminar tour, and I basically gave all the money to my buddy Ukraine. So I won't say how much because it might get me in trouble, but yeah. And he's just bought a bunch of drones. So it's like it has a lot of significance to me to make sure that money's going directly to him to buy supplies that are going to, like, it's like you're really basically protecting your friend's life here. You know, that's like a close friend of mine. And if funds are low over there, that actually puts their lives in direct danger. So the European trip was sort of like a last minute fundraiser because my buddy's battalion needed some cash. So I was able to get the cash to him in Kharkiv. But Kharkiv's...
Is that him?
That's him, yeah.
Legend.
Kharkiv's a very heavy city. It's like every night we were there was like bombs. I remember one night I heard what I thought was a mosquito. It turned out to be like a Shahed drone. So when we looked out the window, you hear this just buzzing coming closer and closer and closer. We're seeing rockets getting shot out of the sky. So it's pretty surreal, but it's also like shows the resilience of the people that live there. You know, life has to go on, you know?
Do you have to run to bomb shelters a lot?
I don't do it because they don't do it, you know? Like
they don't do it?
Yeah, you can't be the only one running. You know?
Sure.
So obviously, there's a hit close by. Oftentimes, I do a double tap to try and kill the first responders, unfortunately. So, like, yeah, if something hits close, get out of Dodge. But yeah.
Damn. How long were you there for?
This last trip was maybe 10 days.
Are you ever nervous? Are you ever like, man?
I mean, I'm honestly like, I'll just be like, kind of, I feel like I'm in safe hands.
But like that video that we just played, that doesn't look like you're in safe hands. Like, with all due respect, it looks like you're being attacked.
Yeah, I didn't know how close the bullets were going. Like, you hear that.
Sounded close.
Like, you don't know. Like, obviously, in retrospect, we watched the video, and when I talked to the troops and stuff, they were very close. Like, one hit maybe this far from my leg.
Jeez.
Could have been on the injury show for a while with that. But, yeah, I mean, you're obviously nervous, but in the moment, yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
It's a wild thing, man. How's morale, by the way, there? Like, when you walk around, when you talk to the people?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously put on a brave face.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, morale, it's been going on a long time now. Like for those guys, like really 2014 is when they took Crimea. So it's like for these guys, and especially some of the soldiers have been fighting since 2014. So yeah, it's like morale is low, but
all those flags represent the fallen?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, those are fallen soldiers. So, and here, this is a residential building that got hit. The night before I arrived in Kyiv this time, this got hit. I believe it killed like maybe 14 or there was either 14 or 28 people died. And it was like Russia just targeting civilian locations. So that one was pretty heavy because we're watching them rebuild and a few kids died in that one. So it's like they got the playground there with the flowers and the parents are there. But I mean, they're persevering, but it is like quite a big battle for them, you know, like a country of 50 million, obviously with some international support, but Russia's like a 150 million people war machine, you know, like they're overcoming massive obstacles to keep the front line where it is.
Then you spent a significant amount of time in Colombia as well.
That's a war zone in and of itself.
I was worried for you over there. I saw some videos of you.
Yeah.
It looked like you were drugged or something.
Yeah, you know, that was actually...
What is this? What's going on here?
Have you ever heard of the devil's breath or scopolamine?
I think I've heard someone talking about it. It's like a drug that you'd put in a drink, right?
Yeah. So it's like, I remember Vice did a doc on it back in the day. And
That's you there with the hat, right?
Me. Yeah, that's me.
That's fucked.
Yeah, so we were down on just the main strip, just people watching. We weren't even drinking much that night. Like it was kind of for a Colombia night out, it was a couple drinks, go home. But then I don't know what happened really, but some two jiu-jitsu dudes sat next to me and took a photo. And then the bar staff became very attentive. But yeah, I don't remember anything.
You think they did it?
Not those guys, but I think like obviously if someone takes a photo of someone,
it's like a bullseye.
Yeah, little do they know we're operating on jiu-jitsu money here, nothing to take.
Why do you think they would do that? Like, do you think someone was out to get you?
Oh no, it's just like there are a lot of tourists targeted.
Sure.
In especially Medellin, they're obviously like Tinder and stuff like that. Guys go missing. I think it's like one of the most dangerous spots for U.S. Tourists traveling around the world. So you are a target there. And scopolamine has this strange trait where you're out of it, but you remember numbers. You remember details of like, so you could give someone scopolamine. Oftentimes it's so dangerous that people do die just from the drug itself, but you would remember your logins for crypto. Like I remember what was surreal was in that security video. The reason we realized it was scopolamine was because we got to the Airbnb and I like sprung up and put the code in to enter and then passed back out. So it's like you remember the details. Scopolamine it's kind of a bit of a mythic thing too, right? Because you got a wife and kids and the account gets drained at a strip club or something, must have been drugged in Colombia with scopolamine. Yeah. But yeah, it is definitely a real...
How long did that last? Like how long were you out for?
Ooh, I was probably a good 8-9 hours just like completely...
And who was carrying you?
So that's my business partner, Seth. He runs CJR with us. And what was funny is the reason we weren't even drinking is because he went to Colombia to get stem cells in his neck. So that night he's not drinking, and I've had a couple of drinks. I remember calling him. I'm like, "You pussy, have another drink." So I ended up drinking both the doses of the scopolamine.
Oh my gosh!
And then he had to carry me out of the place we were at with his stem cell jammed up neck. So I probably destroyed all the benefits of the stem cells he had.
Oh my dear.
Well, at least the people.
And why were you in Colombia?
For the culture, the tourism, the sites.
You have a bunch of videos on your YouTube page, the B Team YouTube page, where it's like 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, yeah, we made a play on that, 90 Day Fiance. We're calling it 90-minute Fiance.
90-minute.
Yeah, we're trying to
And who are the girls in the video?
I mean, just chicks I meet along the way, Okay.
So you're not spoken for necessarily. You haven't found the one.
No, I haven't found the one. No, that's the pursuit of 90 days.
That's right.
90-minute Fiance, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Colombia... I mean, it's a fun place to go. Like, obviously, it has its dangers and stuff. I wouldn't discourage people from going, but I would say, like, I got hit because some jiu-jitsu dudes recognized me, and I think the bartenders drugged me. Most of the time, dudes are going on Tinder dates with women that are probably way out of their usual abilities, and I think, like, that's where the danger lies. Like,
is that the only scary, quote-unquote, thing that happened to you over there?
I would say so, yeah. I would say so in Colombia. I actually ended up meeting Pablo Escobar's older sister.
Yeah. Saw that. Someone DM'd you about this, right? And said, I know his...
Yeah, someone, you check the DMs like that. Someone's like, you want to meet Escobar's sister? I was like, is this legit? Is this not legit? And they sent me some dodgy pictures and I thought, you know what? This is probably... He seems like he's in the industry. So then I met her for dinner. We had a few wines and stuff and she was telling some stories about Pablo, but like largely just obviously maintaining her image of Pablo.
Sure.
Yeah, she was just...
Was she nice?
She was a lovely lady.
Did it kind of like end on a sour note?
A little bit, yeah, because we got the... being the engineer I am, putting my degree to use, is we put the spoons on the end of the sunglasses. So like, she's obviously not a fan of the nose beers herself. Yeah. Obviously a lot of Colombians aren't because of the history of what that's done to the country. But yeah, I remember we got it. I was like, can you try these on for me? And we took a photo together. And then when she realized the spoons are on the end, she wasn't a fan, but she did laugh it off.
Did she just like leave?
No. She was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. You know.
By the way, when we posted that you were going to be on, there were a lot of messages about nose beers.
Nose
You come up with that term?
No, I don't know where. I think it's an Australian culture thing. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
So, yeah, it's like.
Is that a term for cocaine?
That is a term for cocaine.
I never heard of that before.
Cocaine or not?
No, nose beers.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like just some slang for it. You know.
Okay.
Good time.
When you're competing, do you have to cut all that out?
Depends on the danger of the opponent.
Like for Gable.
For Gable, I mean, that's a big boy, you know. I mean, we could take any PD we can get our hands on for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you be doing that?
For this, no, I'll try and get healthy for this one. We've had too much of a good time the last year, so it's like competition's a good excuse for me to get back in shape.
So like when you cut it all out, like how long before?
Probably 48 hours. The John
that's
Jones
it.
bottle. Nah, we'll get healthy for this one. Honestly, I'm so busy with the CJI. There's so much shit going on that it's like I just need to stay focused.
So like, where's the home base when you're locking in for this?
We're actually like, I just picked up a 89 Lincoln Town car, and we're going to do like a
Sick.
bit of a road trip around the country and promoting. It's like a Hunter S. Thompson political campaign promoting CGI.
I love it.
So we'll just be popping into gyms in different cities. Like no organized seminar where I'm trying to get money. I'm just going to show up to people's gyms and surprise them, roll them.
So different cities in America.
Yeah, and hopefully they don't beat me up. Hopefully I still.
Yeah. And you get some training in.
Yeah, that's the idea. For
Brilliant.
Sure.
And this is three 5-minute rounds?
3 5-minute rounds, yeah.
And UFC took that model as well.
Yeah, I mean, all right, to be fair, I stole they were doing 3 fights for MMA.
Sure.
And I always said, what, like that would work great for grappling. I think some Russian event, ACB, did it for grappling and it worked quite well. They took that back, I guess, that I took from them. The pit I stole from Karate Combat, they reinvented the wheel with their pit by just curving a little bit, making an octagon. The geniuses, the technical geniuses they are. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing.
So your match against Gable is a one-off, right? It's not a part of the team. So are there any other super matches like this?
We have a 4-woman tournament for 100K, so it's actually the highest female prize money in jiu-jitsu history. We have Anna Vieira, Adele Fenerio, and Helena Craver. We need to fill the 4th spot.
Helena was just doing Polaris, right?
Yeah, super active.
Yeah.
Probably the best up-and-coming prodigy in the sport. Like, in terms of her accomplishments, like, she rarely loses. It's incredible to watch.
Scottish? Is she Scottish? Where's she from? Somewhere in Europe, right?
Maybe she looks a bit Romanian, maybe. I don't know. Good question.
But she's European.
I believe so. I believe her parents are from Europe somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, she's out training with Danaher and just super active.
Who's the 4th?
We're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Might have to go call up Gabby Garcia, get her ass back in there.
That would be cool. I was thinking like a Mackenzie Dern or someone like that, but
we could try.
Yeah.
We could try. You have the connections. Get Hunter on the horn.
I don't know if he's answering that call. I don't
don't answer his calls either.
Nice one. By the way, so like Mikey was saying, I saw his post-match. Did you watch his match?
I did watch his match, yeah.
I saw his post-match, and he said something to the effect of that he had to take his social media off his phone because he was afraid of any messages he might get. Would that be from like Craig Jones supporters or from you specifically?
Oh, I mean, me and him talk back and forth. We're actually like fine with each other, you know, like even when we were talking about doing the show together, it would have been exaggerated, but largely it would have been friendly. Like, obviously, like, I attack people, but like, I'm trying to not like twist the knife too hard, you know? Like, I want to keep it in good fun. Like, so for Mikey, it is in good fun. But yeah, he did, what's this? I'm waving the white flag. We're cool, yeah.
And that's you.
I'll take that as, yeah, that's a victory. I mean, yeah, Mikey's
that's a victory.
Mikey's not my enemy. You know, he's chilling.
How could you be mad at Mikey? Such a nice guy.
It's true, yeah. I'm not mad at him. It's just he just falls victim by association, you know. But like most of the time, I'm just trying to make fun of these guys in a lighthearted way. Like I made a lot of Bilal Muhammad jokes, but like me and Bilal were chilling. You know, I messaged him afterwards just to be like, yo, like, you know, I actually felt super bad for Bilal. I thought they set him up when he did the weigh-ins, and the guy was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking comment on that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like, how could you do that? They just called his name out.
I know.
You know, so it's like, I love a bit of fun like that, a bit of lighthearted fun. Nothing too. I crossed the line accidentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
it's not malicious.
Yeah, it's not coming from a bad place.
What about this Bellamere? Did you see her?
I didn't watch her match.
Oh, Frank's daughter.
Frank's daughter, yeah. Look incredible.
I mean, it's just kind of cool to see Frank's daughter. But yes, collegiate wrestler, MMA fighter. She has a fight coming up. Yeah,
yeah.
22. Seems like she has a bright future.
Brock's daughter, does she?
Brock's daughter, yeah.
That would be the match.
She does, I think, shot put. She does some sort of track and field. But Ian Freeman, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
Ian Freeman fought Frank Mir at UFC 38. The Brawl at Royal Albert Hall in London.
First London one, right?
Yeah, and she now signed with the UFC.
Really?
So that might be his daughter, Kennedy Freeman, signed with the UFC.
That's wild.
So Kennedy versus Bella, although different weight classes, 135 and 125. I think Bella competes at 45. But anyway, it's just kind of cool as, someone who watched Frank in his prime to now see his daughter killing it.
It's wild because you always think of like, oh, I have a son, maybe our sons will fight, like the boxing fight recently, but now it's like, oh, maybe our daughters will fight.
Yeah.
I think it's a fucking cool
The Eubanks. Do you think this might be it, like this particular match against Gable? This could be it for you?
I think more than likely. You know what I mean? Like
really? This could be your retirement match.
This could be the retirement match.
Are you just saying that to promote this, or are you being serious?
I mean, like, to be honest, like my drive to compete is less. Like, I'm doing the CGI, I have like other things. Like my drive would be to leave a legacy in the sport that grows the sport. Like, I get more fulfillment out of building these gyms for these kids around the world. Like, that was my focus. To be honest, me competing, even against Gabby, like, obviously I could have done ADCC. I knew that the Gabby match would blow up. It had been brewing. There'd been a lot of foreplay for years on that one. So it's like, I'm trying to compete now and help leverage the other athletes on the card. In CGI, really, I'm trying to use the brand I've built to bring these guys up a bit more, like to help people grow in the sport. So like, I'll compete, obviously, if the money's, you can twist my arm with some money, right? But for the most part, I'll just continue to compete in big matches that could elevate the sport in an effort to kind of grow the sport.
I mean, this is it. I would imagine it's probably easier to put this event together if you're not competing, right? If you could just focus on putting the event together and not training.
Yeah, the promotion aspect's so much more difficult. There's so many challenges, and like obviously, like we're allegedly going up against a pretty big, like a pretty dominant organization here.
You think they're gonna try to screw with you?
I think to the degree at which they will actually do it, I don't know. But like in terms of if we're seen as a rival, I think they are very aggressive in their business practices, and it wouldn't surprise me. And nor what they've done has surprised me in terms of how they go about things. So like I do foresee some unforeseen obstacles ahead, just in the sense that we are seen as a rival. And a lot of people will say like I'm trying to unionize grappling and stuff like that. And obviously that's been attempted in MMA. It's not something they're a fan of, I would imagine.
Do you think that could happen in grappling? I feel like it's way too splintered.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like you're kind of like tricking these people into forming a union. You know what I mean? Like I created CGI to try to strong arm ADCC into paying more. We're kind of by paying these guys more myself, I'm kind of tricking them into forming a unionized front. So it's like I think whether or not they agree with the philosophy behind it or really necessarily the methodology, we can convince them with our own finances to really unionize. I just hope that they understand the goal here is to maintain the power in the athlete's hands. CGI1 put a lot of power in people's hands by making them make a choice. We're trying to still do that with this event. Like, I do not want any other organization to cease to exist. I just want them, the athletes, to have more leverage. At the end of the day, if you're going to sign an exclusive deal, make sure you get paid, compensated well. And the way to do that is to explain about the other opportunities you have. And if you have a chance at $1 million tournament and they're offering you 10 and 10, it's like we're giving you something to demand more money from these guys. And that at the end of the day, I think is ultimately for the greater good here of the athletes themselves. Whether they understand it, I at least am trying to trick them into being able to leverage better for themselves.
By the way, I haven't talked to you since the Gabby match. You're very elusive. It's hard. It's like you'll pop up and then you'll disappear for like 10 days. Like her strength, rolling with her?
Pathetic.
Absolutely
pathetic, yeah. And I'm thinking Gable Stevenson will be the same, you know?
You think so?
So, yeah. I've seen him in the singlet.
Yeah.
We had a big...
Did you enjoy grappling against her?
Yeah. Obviously, we made a lot of jokes to build that matchup, right? Me and Gabby, at the end of the day, super close, super friendly with each other, you know? And like, for me, the shot, like, it's like what you came for isn't what you left with, but it's still good. And in that sense, it's like Gabby has always been this like 10-time world champion, and everyone was like, look at her, she's way bigger than the girls. Of course she's going to win. And she was kind of unappreciated. Even her match against Mackenzie Dern, which she lost, she's kind of like being booed by the crowd and stuff. So like for me to ultimately see her be celebrated by the crowd, and I think like the ability to laugh at yourself is very important. So she was able to laugh at herself in the lead up to this match. And then ultimately by making the decision to side with us and explain the reasons why in her post-match interview and seeing the crowd support her for who she truly is, that was probably the best part of CGI for me.
Will she be a part of the second one?
In what capacity, I'm not sure, but for sure, whether I have to go down there, drive and throw in a trunk of this car, we'll get her to CGI too.
No chance she competes.
I mean, you never know. We'll see who. You looking for an opponent?
For myself, no, but I mean, she is an attraction, right?
It is your birthday. I'll make the call.
I'm just saying she's a big star in that world, and a lot of them are now being tied up. I do think it's good when you get the MMA guys in there because it draws people like me in as well who may not know, the just jiu-jitsu only.
Who's the
superstars.
biggest MMA fighter and woman we could have Gabby face?
Oh my gosh!
You know what? You know who I tried to convince? Demetrius Johnson.
Oh yes, that would be the one.
Unfortunately, he was scared of her.
Demetrius versus Gabby?
In the gi.
Oh my gosh, in the gi?
Demetrius, mate, don't be afraid.
Come on, DJ. By the way, no promotional ties. You're cool with one championship, right?
Yeah. They actually, all their athletes are allowed to compete for us.
Oh, DJ versus Gabby would be box office.
That would
be incredible.
That would be.
Did you actually offer it to him?
Yeah. He wasn't interested in it.
Was it last year or this year?
This year.
This year. What did he say?
He said he's never been with a woman that big, and I said I hadn't either. She's gentle. Like,
oh my god, who do you think would win that? My god, what a fun match that would be.
It would be an exciting match.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think. Even if we could pull in a Henry Cejudo or something, I think she'd take Henry down in a heartbeat.
He's UFC. You think they'll let him?
Good question. Be a good pitch to
Paul Hughes?
Reopen the conversation. Paul Hughes would be good. When's his rematch? He's getting ducked.
Seems it's a weird one.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's an official duck. I think PFL is trying to push it to January because they have this deal with Abu Dhabi or Dubai, excuse me, and they want it to be there. But it's like this fight happened in January and everyone was talking about it. You have an amazing thing. Just do it now. You need all the buzz you can get.
I was trying to tell him. I mean, like all of like Sambo in and of itself, which these guys celebrate. They say, if Sambo is easy to be called jiu-jitsu? All of these guys are terrified of heel hooks. It scares them beyond belief. I was like, Paul, all you need, one heel hook. That's over. It's done. It's easy. That's why I really wanted to have Khabib talks a lot about how good Sambo is. You know what I mean? Like, my opinion is Sambo is just a bunch of judo guys decide to take their pants off and wrestle. That is really what Sambo is. So I want him to put up or shut up, basically.
Okay.
So we have Mica Galvao. Mica Galvao is with Flo, but he's available to compete for CGI. And I think in the nature of a team's event, I think Mica could probably run through consecutively the entire Khabib team, back to back to back to back. So I'm putting the call out on the show. If you Sambo guys really mean business, give us your best five. Jiu-jitsu rules.
Wow.
Versus Mica Galvao. I reckon Mica would submit every guy on Khabib's team in under a minute.
Are you saying 5 versus 1?
But yeah, I mean, and that's favorable to Mica, in my opinion. I think you wear the T-shirt. If Sambo is easy, it'd be cool jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Let's see.
Yo, that would be crazy. So you're essentially saying Team Sambo, Team Khabib versus Galvao.
Yeah, and
one dude.
Anyone that can get a visa from Russia that wants to face Mica Galvao, it's not going to last long.
I love this. I'd love to see Volk involved as well. But
we tried that.
Oh, you did?
We tried that for CGI 1. We tried to have, actually, in a no leg lock match, Micah Musumeci versus Volkanovski.
Okay. And what happened?
The higher-ups weren't interested.
Meaning the UFC?
Yeah, I believe part of it was also like...
He wasn't even champion at that time.
Yeah, and part of it, I think, was also that like Izzy was fighting in Perth at the time. And they wanted one of their stars competing in something that potentially draw eyes away from that thing.
Okay. Oh, yes, it was around the same time, yes.
But Volk wants to be busy. The man wants to do anything, fight, compete. You know, like, so it's like...
I don't even know who he's going to fight. It's unclear. They're having Mobsar fight Aaron Pico.
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I have no idea either. I haven't heard...
He's got nothing booked.
Nothing booked, as far as I know. If he's got something booked, he should tell me, because I got to make...
You should. You got to make your schedule.
Make room in the calendar sometime.
You'll come down there, right? You'll go over there?
Yeah, I always got the boys back. I always participate in their camps. If there was ever a situation where I wasn't allowed a corner, I'm not in it for the corner. I'm in it to help them prepare. So, like, no matter what happens in the future, I'll always help these guys train. You know, it's like friends to me. It's like, and we're talking about their health,
right?
Their safety. You know what I mean? If I can contribute positively in any capacity to that, I'm obviously going to be a part of it.
You're a good man. August 30th and 31st.
August 30th, 31st.
Thomas and Mac.
Tickets
available?
Tickets available now.
There's the poster. CJI 2.
And soon to be announced, Demetrius Johnson, Gabby Garcia.
Yeah, come on, DJ. Should we call him right now?
Call him.
Should we call him? Put him on the spot.
Put him on the spot.
You think it'll piss him off if I do that?
Nah.
Let's see if he... Oh, Demetrius Johnson just texted me.
Let's see what he says.
Okay, wait. He's asking me for... Okay, so he wasn't watching because this was... Actually, he might have been watching. It was 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to tell him. I'm FaceTiming him. Let's see. Do you think he picks up? He might be watching right now. Someone might have alerted him. We are live. And we don't usually FaceTime. We're more texters. He texted me 23 minutes ago. Didn't wish me a happy birthday, by the way.
Typical Demetrius Johnson behavior.
Come on, DJ. This is it. This is your chance. Oh, thanks. You did that for me?
I'm an artist, yeah.
No. I'll work on this.
If you can get that, man, put the feelers out.
Oh, here, we're recording a video. 3, 2. DJ, we're live on the show. Look who's here.
Face your fears, Demetrius Johnson.
Come on. You versus Gabby Garcia, August 31st.
August 31st. They're going to take you out of the Hall of Fame if you don't do it, man. Don't be afraid.
Night 2. And they're taking you out of the Hall of Fame. You're not even in the Hall of Fame, but they're going to take you out if you don't accept the fight.
And one thing's for sure. I'll pay you more than your old contract at that company did, man.
Come on, DJ. I'll corner you. We'll see you there. Oh, I have to upload this. Okay, there it is. You're the man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
Good luck. Thank you for coming. Please stay safe. Don't get killed. We love you. Craig Jones, we're going to take a quick break. We'll bring in Shernika Johnson. We're going from one Australian to a New Zealander. You know Shernika?
I don't, but I probably should if she's a Kiwi, yeah.
She's incredible. She's bantamweight champion. She's fighting at MSG this Friday on the Netflix card.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Actually, I think she has. She works with the fight dietitian.
Oh, Jordy.
Yeah.
Sick.
So he works with all you guys. Anyway, quick break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up. Leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.